One's well done.
Morning.
How you doing?
How was the flight, Tom?
It was relatively easy. Practice yesterday, and everyone's a bit tired after practice, so it's nice to get off the flight and get over here and try to get ready to win a football game.
Big bet.
Yeah,
We got 75 frames per second.
Did coach let you watch any films on the plane, or was it all game footage?
it was mostly sleep,
Yeah.
because we got some work to do today, so I think a lot of the guys kind of took advantage of some rest, and it was a decent flight, and I think everyone feels pretty good. Seems like everyone's excited to be here.
Does it feel any different playing in England to a game in America?
I'm sorry?
Does it feel any different playing in England to a game in America?
Certainly the double-decker buses that you see, and certainly a lot of support that we're getting from both you guys and from the fans. I know I misspoke the other day. I have to, there's a big event tomorrow for all the fans that I guess a lot of the players are going to. And but yeah, it definitely has a different feeling. I think all the players kind of coming together on a long flight to be here for 3 or 4 days together will be a lot of fun for all of us. So hopefully the fans really enjoy the game.
Do you get any strange reactions from English fans that Americans just really do?
We have pretty crazy fans in America, so there's probably not much that I haven't seen at this point.
Having traveled as much as you have, knowing sports as well as you do, the NBA, for example, has done a great job going global. Why do you think that's more difficult in the NFL? When you see football and others reaching that kind of worldwide popularity?
Not sure. It's everybody has their cultures and their traditions, and certainly a lot of countries play basketball. Football is a bit unique to America. I know there's certain other countries that understand the game, play the game, watch the game based on what you hear about people watching Super Bowl games and so forth. So, there's a lot that goes into American football with the rules and the equipment and the amount of players that you need and referees. And growing up as a kid, we played two-hand touch, which I'm sure all the American kids do. But I know this part of the country is dominated by soccer or football. But it's, I hope so one day. I mean, it's a great sport. There's a reason why all of us chose this particular sport, and there's the team elements of this game, and the structure of the game, and the scheme of the game is so critical to our success. So, you look at a sport like basketball where it's much more, you throw the ball to one guy, and not that they don't have plays, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of, you get the ball to Kobe Bryant at the end of the game, and he wins the game for you. So football is not really like that. Every single guy has an important role, and unless that person does their role, then it doesn't usually end up being a very good play. So I hope so. I hope it continues to grow, and that's why we're here. We're here to kind of be ambassadors for the NFL, and I think the players understand that. The players are excited about that. But at the same time, we realize our main goal is to win a football game, because it's certainly much longer to play home if we don't take care of business.
What do you take from your experience 3 years ago, where you're quarterbacking, that will help this week?
I wouldn't say much. I think this is a different team, different experience that's really unique to this particular game. So, the stadium, everyone will get used to that pretty quickly. But it's a great venue for us to play in, and I think most importantly is using these next few days to prepare and not necessarily get distracted by all the different things that you could possibly go out and do, because it's not like this is a vacation. If this was a typical road trip for us, we'd land on a Saturday and then get prepared that night and go out and play the next day. We have a few extra days, so hopefully we use it well and prepare well, and not as really a sightseeing. type tour for us, which is certainly not that.
Tom, it's been 10 years since you beat the Rams in Super Bowl 36. What do you remember about that night, and could you have foreseen the 10 years of success that followed?
I mean, that was it doesn't seem like long ago, but at other times it does seem like it's a long time ago. How do I feel about that experience? That was a long time ago. A lot of hits ago. So. I mean, you win the Super Bowl is my second year in the league, and it was, you never forget that. So that's embedded in your mind and heart for the rest of your life. You had so many great teammates that were part of that, and guys that I'm still friends with. We played one of the best teams that I've ever played against, and I think that's really where Patriot football and team football really kind of started for us, in New England, and it took a team effort to win that game. It was, like I said, an exceptional team that we faced, and made Hall of Famers on that team, the guys that were playing at the height of their career, and we found a way to beat them and lost them over that season. So it was a very memorable night. Certainly since then, it's been done more than I could ever ask for as a person, as a player. I'm sure a lot of my teammates feel the same way.
Tom, you then went on to win 3 in the next 4 years. You must have thought the NFL was easy at one point. What's it like losing after you've had such a success, and how did you get over the Super Bowl loss last year?
Well, I think you realize you're right. I mean, when you win like we did early in my career here, in our career as Patriots, you don't take it for granted. I think as time's gone on, you realize how challenging that was, because we've had some great teams since then. We just haven't had a chance to win the Super Bowl. We got there twice, but didn't really close the deal. And I think as a team, you realize all the small things that go into preparing each week and the process that you put into each game so that you can perform at your highest level when it matters the most. So, losing sucks, and especially to lose the Super Bowl at the end of the season like we did last year. It's a very disappointing feeling, but at the same time, you have mental toughness to move forward and not allow that to have any impact on what we've done this season. And we're still growing as a team. We're not even really to the halfway point, but I think each step along the way we've learned, and we've gotten a little bit better, a little more prepared, and hopefully this weekend is our best game of the season.
Tom, I interviewed Marcel Darius yesterday, and he said about you, and these are his words, not mine, that you don't hear him coming, you don't see him coming, he's just in your face all game. I just wondered if you had any response to that.
I'm in his face all day? Well, I try to just focus on my job, so I think there's a lot of things that go on outside of what I do that the other players on my team are focused on. I certainly have supreme confidence that they're going to be able to do that. So that frees me up to be the player that I need to be, because my team needs to be at my very best. And that's what I try to do every single day. I think that's what all of us as teammates try to do. You try to be accountable to the guy next to you so that you free them up to do their job. And that's why I have teammates like Wes Welker and Deion Branch that I've had for a long time that, I never need to say anything to those guys. They're always in the right place. They're always doing the right thing. And that's why I have so much trust and confidence in them. And that's why when you choose to throw the ball to them, the execution is at such a high level, because, we both have trust that, we're both going to be doing the exact same thing at the right time, at the right moment, in the most important situations.
And you talk about the quality of your teammates, and certainly the receiving core you've got is incredible. Do you have a favourite receiver you've worked with over the years, and is there anyone impressing you from the new group coming through?
There's been so many, that I've been lucky enough to play with. Guys that are, all of them have been a little bit different, so it's hard to pick really a favorite guy. I have Troy Brown, who is an incredible receiver for us on our team, got elected to our Hall of Fame this season. He's one of the greatest teammates I've ever had. Randy Moss had one of the greatest receiving seasons of anybody that ever played a game. Wes Welker's been a dominant receiver for the last 6 years. He's one of my best friends. So All those guys add something different, bring something different. They have really unique skill sets, but I think what sets them apart is the emotion and the character that they bring to the team. And their leadership ability really transpires their physical ability, which allows them to reach heights that not many guys in the NFL reach. So, I've been very fortunate to play with those guys, and I appreciate them and all the work that they do to prepare themselves so that they can be at their best for not only myself, but for all of our teammates.
Are the younger players like Gronkowski and Hernandez excited about playing in London, their first time here?
I think so. They're always excited about anything. When you're 23 years old or 22 years old, they're not excited about it.
Are you worried they're going to be distracted by being in a new country?
Maybe not till after the game, but that's when you really got to keep a tight leash on those two guys. So.
Are you guys going to be going out in London after the game? Or is it straight back to work and straight back to New England?
We're staying here tonight, so I'm sure everybody will have some different plans. Mine calls for sleep. So.
You're going up against a particularly aggressive defensive line. Is there any extra preparation you put in this week?
My job is I have other guys. The offensive line is really focused on what they need to do. It's a very good defensive line that we're facing, one that puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback from their scheme standpoint, but also just from their playmaking ability. And Quinn and Long are exceptional pass rushers, and they've really proven that over the course of multiple seasons. So it's a very good defense, and I think they challenge you in a lot of ways. We've got to be at our very best. I said, we've been inconsistent at times throughout the season, which has led to, a very mediocre record from us. But, at the same time, our goals are still ahead of us, and this would be a very important win for us if we can get it going into, a bye week next week.
Tom, related to that, this season, you guys, it's been a strange travel year with finishing 2 preseason games on the road. How important would it be to get a victory this week, and then you have the bye week and 2 home games after that? Do you look at this as an opportunity to kind of put things together, get guys healthy? You guys are pretty banged up more than usual at this point.
Sure, yeah, and that's what happens. You go this long, and guys are playing with bumps and bruises, and certainly nobody's 100% at this point. And everyone kind of looks at that bye week as a point where, man, if we could just get to the bye week, get a little bit healthy, then we can hopefully put together a great stretch of games. So. You look at this game, this is a very critical point and critical game in our season, where if we can just get to 5-3, we feel like we're at a decent point, where we've learned a lot from the last 8 games. We learned what we do well, we learned the things that we don't do so well, and you can move forward with mental toughness and playing Patriot football the kind of way that we need to the rest of the year when football season really gets going.
Can you use the experience from the Seattle game to get ready after a long trip?
Yeah, that was basically the same distance, just opposite direction, and that was we played decent football for most of that game, and then let the league kind of slip away there at the end. Hopefully we play better than we played at that particular moment in that particular game, but. We're excited for this game. It's a different game. It's a different challenge, and I think we've been preparing since our game ended against the Jets last Sunday, and I think all the players seem to be excited about for this weekend.
Hey Tom, fans are doing this green and white. American football is played in the past. They say rugby is tougher. Just your thoughts on rugby.
And I have a lot of respect for those guys. They're some tough guys, but. Yeah, it's a great sport. I've always enjoyed watching. I had a lot of friends who played rugby growing up. I don't understand the rules so much. That wouldn't be my type of game where you have to run fast. I'm looking at a situation where I just kind of stand there and throw the ball for the fast guys. So, but it's a great sport. It's a physical sport. Our sport is very physical. I think the size of our players and the speed of our players move at. Yeah, you have passed, but believe me, you still feel it. The more physical you are as a team, the more imposing you are as a team, usually, the more success you have.
So here is the time when an NFL team is based perhaps in London or outside the US, and as a player, how would you feel making more regular trips to Europe?
Well, I think that's, I'm not sure. I don't make any of those decisions, or if it was up to me, it's really not up to me. Maybe one day if I was the owner of a team, it would be. But I think that it's a great thing that we're here. I think it's a great thing that people get to experience, American football, and why I think we enjoy it so much. Whether that ever happens on a regular basis, those questions are probably for other people, but I know this experience is fun for us players, and, we look forward to the opportunity of sharing our game with people who probably don't get to see it very often. And maybe there's more games in the future. I think that would ultimately be the goal for everybody.
Well, based on your experience here in 2009, have you perhaps been giving some advice to some of the younger players on how to stay focused?
Yeah, I think our coach does a very good job of that, so I kind of leave that to the coaches. And there's some things as a veteran on our team, and who, the captains always speak to a lot of the younger players about what we're going to experience. But we let coach handle a lot of that stuff.
How does playing at Wembley compare to playing at other stadiums in the States, like atmosphere-wise, fan base, stuff like that? How does it compare?
It's a beautiful stadium. It's a very big stadium. It was loud from the last time I remember. The fans are into it. There's a lot of whistles and horns, which we're really not used to in the States very much. But communication is always an issue for offensive football. And, we worked with some sound this week to get used to the not being able to communicate as well. So, you never really know when they're going to be cheering, so you got to prepare for it, both without crowd noise or with crowd noise. But it's really a beautiful stadium, and I know how much I enjoyed it the last time I played here.
Tom, just to follow on from that, it's been mentioned that although this is a home game on paper for the Rams, there's going to be a more vocal support for the Patriots. Have you noticed that, I suppose, due to your success over the last decade, there is a big Patriot fan base in the UK?
I hope so. That would make kind of logical sense for the New England Patriots to have some fans here in England. Hopefully we give them reasons to cheer over here. We're going to go out and try to play really well. And the better we play, the louder they're going to scream. And it'll feel great. It'll feel great if we can come out with a win on Sunday.
Tom, you switched helmets the last couple of weeks. It looks like you're wearing a different helmet. And if so, what was the thinking of making a change? I know how much you're sort of like the creature of habit.
Yeah. I'm just trying some different things out, so nothing really in particular. You may see the old one back this weekend. We didn't have very good games last time.
Tom, could you compare your second and Seattle's? Seattle plays real aggressive with the corners and they lay a safety back. How do these guys tend to play at a lot of speed?
Yeah, a lot of speed and playmaking ability at corner, very similar to Seattle. I think they have three guys, Fletcher, Finnegan, and Jenkins, that all play very aggressive. They're different teams, but similar in style in that they rush the quarterback and they expect the ball to come out quick. So when you're a secondary player, it's not like, oh man, I have to cover for very long. So whenever, the quarterback's dropping back, they're going to try to lock onto that receiver and jump routes and be aggressive, and they've been doing that all season. So they have confidence in their coverability. So we're going to have to try to be able to protect long enough for our guys to get away from them, or else it's going to be a long night.
Tom, we had the Olympics here this year. Did you watch them? And if you weren't playing professional football, what Olympic event do you think you could get at?
Oh man! Of course, I saw the Olympics. That was I think the U.S. won the most medals, which was pretty cool for the American fans. I heard how great experience it was here, and how England really embraced the Olympics, and everyone really enjoyed it. I don't think I compete in anything other than football. I'm glad I played this sport, so I'm not the most athletic person in the world, but I got a decent arm, so it works for being an NFL quarterback, but not many other things. That's a baseball pitcher, but that's not an Olympic sport.
Why do you think you have such a problem closing games this year? You lost.
Simple close ones? Well, hopefully, we've learned from that. I think I've said that a few times. Our execution hasn't been the best in those situations, but, we're 4-3, so, we've had some where we've done better than others. There in the fourth quarter of these games, we had a pretty good fourth quarter last game. We showed some resiliency, a little bit of toughness. Hope we learn from that and we do a better job going forward. But that's when the defense makes it tough on you. When they really got to tighten the coverage and tighten the pass rush and try to get the ball back. And we've had a couple games where we haven't done a very good job of that.
Do you feel like you're coming in more momentum after that overtime win last week? As a fan, I'm really still exhausted from it. I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah, we were exhausted too, all the way up until we got home. It was one of those games that you're glad you win because you put a lot of energy and emotion to it, and you have the ups and downs of the games, and then after the game you feel like you play two games when it goes that way. So I think hopefully we've learned a lot of good things from it. Hopefully we gain some confidence that we can win very close games and win games in overtime. Defense made critical plays when they need to. Offense did. So, you go into a game like this and you understand it's going to be close. You have confidence that you can pull them out, and that if you need a play, that somebody's going to make them.
Tom, for a lot of your career, you had your blind side protected by Matt Light. How do you feel that Nate Saunders getting on there? And also, if you could discuss whether it took some getting used to having someone else as your left tackle.
Yeah, well, he was an incredible player for us for a long time, and I had so much trust in him and confidence in him, as did everybody did, because of the way that he performed and played for us for over a decade. He was everything you look for in a teammate, and I think Nate having a year to watch, and Nate played a lot last year as well, played a lot of right tackle, but to see the way that Matt played, the way that Matt prepared, and now to play next to Logan Mankins, who's one of the best players I've ever played with, certainly helps everybody. So Nate's done a great job and works extremely hard. He's very gifted as a player, and he brings a great attitude to the game. He's a tough guy. He wants to do the right thing. He's very smart, and he puts a lot of time and energy and effort into trying to be the best that he can be. So I love having him over there. He's got a great future.
Tom, if you could pick two teammates to do a road trip across the states with, who would they be and why?
Oh man. As a single man or as a
That's for you to decide.
I've got some great friends on the team, so it would be a bus. It couldn't just be two. There'd be a lot of guys. I got some great teammates and guys that I have such strong relationships with, and I think that's the thing that you enjoy the most. The games are really important and you love that, but also when you play football and you work hard and you're bleeding, you play with broken bones, and you look at the guy next to you and you have so much respect for him because of he's doing the same thing. Someone like Wes Welker, who's one of my best friends, who is small in stature but has a bigger heart than anybody on the team. Those are the guys that are lifelong friends and lifelong relationships, and because that you can always count on someone like that.
So we can expect a documentary show when you both retire then?
Probably not. It's going to be hard to find me when I retire. It'll be somewhere warm and sunny and with no phone.
Do you have any plans to stay in the game once you retire?
Sorry?
Do you have any plans to stay in the game once you retire, or will that be?
To stay in the game?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully that's a long time from now. But I love football. I love the sport. Hopefully, I can play for a long time. It's all I know. It's all I really have done. It's all I ever really look forward to. And it's a great. There's nothing better than it.
Was there anything surprising about the playing surface there at Wembley relative to other NFL fields?
Not from what I remember. No, it's actually very good, very solid turf. I know when we played for it last time, we thought it would be a little slippery, but watching the previous game, but I think it rained that game.
It rained a lot that game.
So hopefully, I don't know what the forecast is for this game. I think there's always a chance of raining here in London, right?
The sun may make an appearance, but it'll be cold.
Yeah. But yeah, it was nice turf from what I remember. And we practice on grass quite a bit, even though we play on an artificial surface. We practice on grass all the time. And I think all the players prefer playing on grass. I certainly do. So it's nice when you have these grass games because you know, just little softens the fall a little bit when these guys are winning on top of you. All right.
Final question for John?
Just one request.
Sure.
I'm with the U.S. Army, and we have several hundred soldiers that come in for the game, so it would be awesome if you guys would do a shout out, tell them more than they'll be all over the game.
We'll look at it. Thanks, guys.
We'll have 3 players that are here right now that will come into this line up against the wall.